Gorgeous Jimmy Garvin and Precious, and he starts it right away. Tony, we're especially happy to be here to welcome all you fans because the Jim Crockett Senior Memorial Cup is over with. It was a very, very special occasion for me, Tony. I know for you too, because we saw it right at the top of the program. What made it so great?
David, you're right.
He's fired up, Tony, and we're going to tell you fans exactly why. Gorgeous Jimmy Garvin is on his way after the World Heavyweight Champion, Ric Flair. All right there. Gorgeous Jimmy picks him up, drops him. Hard on the mat, rolls over for the pin. Your winner, Gorgeous Jimmy Garvin with Precious. All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, welcome, Tony. We saw Gorgeous Jimmy Garvin. He is fired up. Precious is too, and it's because of the World Heavyweight Champion Ric Flair and what Rick has gotten himself into.
Well, of course, you know, Precious slapped his face not too long ago, and he came back and said, the following week, I will have a present for Precious. I will come out here with a couple of Space Mountain nets. David, you were there, and I was right in the middle of it, and I think we need to take a look exactly what happened.
All right, let's watch it right now. Gentlemen, we see, Tony, I think the four horsemen were sort of put in their place.
David, I think so, and she walked off with the coat. And like Gorgeous Jimmy said, he said he didn't think he was man enough to take his woman in that interview.
That's right.
And of course, that brought the world champion right out, Nature Boy Ric Flair.
Watch this young man in the ring now. Barry Windham. Take David. Watch this. Oh, beautiful lariat. Nailed him to the mat. He looks down in satisfaction. Oh, what a winner. Barry Windham is your winner.
Let's take a look at what happened again. Barry Windham with flying lariat. 24 teams competed in the Jim Crockett Senior Memorial Cup. One team came out on top, the Superpowers. There with David, along with Barry Windham, right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, with great pleasure, I want to present to you the winners of the Jim Crockett Senior Memorial Cup, Nikita Koloff and the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
Possible, it's a pleasure to be here, comrade. I tell you, after our great victory at the Crockett Cup, I now have to get ready to defend the USA title against much competition. And it's not going to be long before I go into a wrestling ring without this neck brace. Ivan Koloff, Vladimir Pietrov, Dick Murdoch, wherever he may be, Arn Anderson, Tony Blanchard, and of course, big bad Lex Luger all want to be USA champion. But there's one thing they all have to remember. I am champion. They have to defeat me. Spasibo.
It was a great event, a tremendous event. I thank Baltimore, the city, and the people throughout the country that supported us. Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, Nikita Koloff went through the Raging Bull, Ravishing Rick Rude, the Midnight Express, Luger, and Tully Blanchard to win the titles. Now we're going to take care of new business. And by the way, the greatest world's title match I ever witnessed in my life was Barry Windham against Ric Flair, and Big Barry got his number, baby, anytime, any place, anywhere.
You know, any one of the horsemen at any time is what I want. You know, now Dusty and Nikki are a little humble about this championship that they won the cup coming home with them. I tell you what, $1 million between those two. They've been out on the town for a while, but they're ready for business now.
All right. Thank you, baby.
All right, and this young man, Barry Windham, he is ready for Ric Flair, just like Dusty says. All right, let's go to the ring now. And Nikita Koloff, the United States heavyweight champion.
And Dusty having a word with him. There you go. It was certainly, David, you think about the caliber of competition, 2 days, and what an atmosphere the second day in Baltimore. It was like, you know, like the Final Four in college basketball.
Right.
Everybody that night thinking, okay, you know, Dusty and Nikita, they're in it. The Road Warriors are still in it. It was quite an atmosphere.
And from the time the first match until the end, the fans were on their feet yelling. Great event. Here it comes. They yell for the signal. He gave it to him.
Yeah, having something to say to Lex Luger. Luger said he wanted that title. He's got to go through this man right here, Nikita Koloff. Fans, we'll have more action right after this. Stay tuned for more action after these commercial messages about the worldwide wrestling events coming to your area. The NWA returns to Philadelphia in the Civic Center Saturday, April 25th with a bell time of 8:30. On the card, the Kansas Jayhawks team up to take on Thunderfoot number 1 and number 2. For the World TV title, 25 minutes and $10,000. Tully Blanchard, along with James J. Dillon, will defend against White Lightning Tim Horner. Wahoo McDaniel goes up against Vladimir Pietrov. It's Ole Anderson against Arn Anderson in a match for the NWA World Tag Team title. Ravishing Rick Rude and the Raging Bull with Paul Jones will defend against the Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors, with Precious Paul Ellering. Saturday, April 25th at 8:30, the Philadelphia Civic Center. It's the NWA. Here's the World TV Champion, Tully Blanchard, defending the money and the title against White Lightning Tim Horner.
You know, Tony Schiavone, it's a week after the Baltimore Jim Crockett Senior Memorial Cup, and it was a great time. And, you know, that's only 100 miles south of Philadelphia, and there was a lot of Philadelphians there. A lot of them coming up to the Horsemen at the Marriott. Well, we're sorry. Well, I tell you what, we don't need sympathy. We went out, gave it our best. It wasn't quite good enough on that night. And that's the way it is. You put it in a record book, and you go on about life. That's why I can come out here on television and defend this. I'm not talking about one moment of fleeting glory. I'm talking about day in and day out, the World's Television Championship. And it's around my waist. And it'll stay around my waist and somebody puts my shoulders on the mat or makes me give up. You know, Tim Horner, you and I are no strangers now that you've joined forces with Ole Anderson and the Bat Crew. You know, I tell you what, if you guys were real men, you'd come to the ring and fight eyeball to eyeball. But no, you got to bring a Louisville slugger. Well, we can fight dirty too, because we can fight dirty better than anybody else. That's what Ole Anderson taught us. So Tim Horner, you want to come take my livelihood and my bragging rights away, you got 25 minutes to do it on a Saturday night, and we'll see just exactly what White Lightning's all about.
On April 25th, it starts at 8:30 for the NWA World Tag Team title. Ravishing Rick Rude and the Raging Bull with Paul Jones defend against the Road Warriors.
Let me tell you what about my men. You know, the other day, a good friend of mine, Jim Cornette, came to me. Jokingly, he wanted to buy the Raging Bull's contract. He said, what an athlete. The man never backs up. And Ravishing Rick Rude, man, looks like he'd been chiseled out of granite. Two great athletes. That's why they're the world champions. When you take the Road Warriors, big, strong. They remind me of that gorilla that could drive a ball off the tee 500 miles. But they also putt the same way. Let me tell you something. The reason you're not world champions is because you don't have it in here. You have it in here, but not in here. And the world champions, Ravishing Rick Rude and the Raging Bull, are going to show you in Philadelphia just exactly how to get the job done. You know, Road Warriors, you have all the people behind you. I grant you that helps. It helps a lot. And it gets that adrenaline flowing. And it gets you to the ring. But once you get in the ring, and the punishment starts coming towards you, the pain, then you have to dig down and bring it up from here. And I don't think either one of you men can go down and say you're number one.
These two young men are very impressive.
David, you said a mouthful right there. These two young men, they're strong, they're quick, and you know they can fly around that ring. Sean Royal, Chris Champion, the new breed.
Sean Royal is in the ring right now. He's in there against Bobby Jagger. An experienced wrestler.
That's right.
Todd Champion's over there waiting to come in. Oh, watch these two young men. They have a lot of different wrestlers in them, and they are a new breed. Strength, quickness. Look at this.
Jagger's a powerful man, and that time
Couldn't get him up.
That's right.
He blocked him. All right, tag is made. Talking about a big man. Big Todd Champion. Sean has that head scissors. Rolls over, makes the tag. Chris Champion. Look at it. Good slam. All right, Todd's close to, what, 280?
280, around 280, 285. You're right, David.
Easily picks him up for the slam.
Think about Chris Champion.
Look at Chris taking an awful lot of punishment. Go ahead.
That's right. The thing about him, he's so agile. Watch him. Oh. That is an athlete.
And you talk, wait a minute, in basketball you talk about hang time.
That's
I just noticed there. He hung up in that air, just waiting for that drop kick. All right, here he goes. Oh. Now that was the form of the clothesline, but you notice he got a running start. Sean back and forth, built up the momentum, and catapulted off that rope. With the clothesline.
Watch this, David.
Oh, nice move.
Yeah. He's saying 2002, David. And I've talked to them. We've heard from them, and they've said that they are back from the year 2002, from the future, to save wrestling. Whatever. They're really good.
Yes, they are.
Chris Champion, Sean Royal, the new breed.
Your winners, the new breed. And we'll be back with more right after this.
Center, Saturday, April 25th. Bell time is 8:30. On the card, the Kansas Jayhawks in Thunderfoot #1 and #2 for the World TV title. $10,000. Tully Blanchard against Tim Horner. Wahoo McDaniel against Vladimir Pietrov. Ole Anderson takes on Arn Anderson. And for the World Tag Team title, Ravishing Rick Rude of the Raging Bull with Paul Jones against the Road Warriors, all in Philadelphia. Let's bring in Tully Blanchard defending the World TV title, $10,000 against Tim Horner.
You know, Tony Schiavone, not everybody in life can take $10,000 and bet it on themselves, but that's what I'm doing. Tim Horner, you got a chance to go down in the history books, become $10,000 richer, and be able to come on television and wear this. All the bragging rights, the money, and the glory. All in Philadelphia Civic Center, Saturday night, April 25th. Tim Horner, you got it all within your grasp. All you got to do is be able to pluck the apple from the tree.
For the NWA World Tag Team title, Ravishing Rick Rude of the Raging Bull with Paul Jones against the Road Warriors.
You know, Paul Ellery, I do not forget. I remember the time on TV recently that you tried to embarrass my world champions and also myself by asking us to come in the ring for my men to take on your Road Warriors right on television. Well, let me tell you something. My men are not going to wrestle your men on television. There's going to be a contract, like in Philadelphia, where my men are going to be rewarded two ways: by a large winning purse and by the satisfaction of proving to you, Paul Ellery, and proving to the people that my men can defeat those big overgrown animals that you stable.
You know, Elvis, it's a little feud between you and I, and I'm going to show you that #1 Paul Jones is just a little bit smarter than you are.
And fans, we're here with the world television champion, Tully Blanchard, James J. Dillon. Now that the Crockett Senior Cup is over, is it fair to assume that you fellas are really disappointed, JJ?
Well, Bob, I can't really say that we're in the least bit disappointed. Certainly, it was a spectacular two-day event. It was an honor to be just a part of this thing. Certainly the biggest thing that ever hit Baltimore. And once again, the National Wrestling Alliance, Jim Crockett Promotions, showed why they are the very best. And true, the superpowers, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes and Nikita Koloff had a few fleeting moments of glory and adulation, but I think we should put everything in proper perspective, because for the coming year, that beautiful silver cup is going to sit over in the corner, and they can admire it every now and then, maybe rub some of the dust off it. But the important thing is that Tully Blanchard will continue each and every time he goes into the ring, in the weeks, in the months, throughout the upcoming year, defend this title every time he goes in the ring. And I'm talking about the world television title. I'm talking about the $10,000 side purse that says, I am the very best at what I do, and you got to beat me to prove it, which nobody has done up to now. So Dusty Rhodes, let's forget about what's happened up to now. Life goes on. And it's time for you to step forward. Nikita Koloff, Barry Windham, Ricky Morton, Robert Gibson, Ronnie Garvin, and anybody else that's feeling spunky that wants to come and challenge the champ, because he's not hard to find.
You know, JJ, that's exactly true. You know, Dusty Rhodes, you like to come out here and talk about yourself being the greatest single. Well, one night, you defeated Lex Luger and myself in the finals. Well, we went through a lot of tough competition, too. But you know, Dusty Rhodes, every time I get on television and hold this, it's got to stick in your craw, because I took it away from you. Ricky Morton, you want me and my $10,000? Get rid of your partner. Robert Gibson, you come, anything you want, anytime, because I am the world's television champion, and I am one of the horses because I'm Tully Blanchard.
Philadelphia Civic Center, Saturday, April 25th. The bell time is 8:30. Kansas Jayhawks take on Thunderfoot #1 and #2 for the World TV title. 25 minutes and $10,000 also on the line. Tully Blanchard with James J. Dillon will defend against White Lightning and Tim Horner. Wahoo McDaniel against Vladimir Pietra. Ole Anderson will take on Arn Anderson. And for the NWA World Tag Team title, the Raging Bull and Ravishing Rick Rude and Paul Jones against the Road Warriors in Philadelphia. Here's the World TV Champion Tully Blanchard defending the title and the money against White Lightning and Tim Horner.
You know, Tim Horner, I'm not going to talk a lot about you, because you and I are no strangers. The people in Philadelphia know we're no strangers. 25 minutes is all that needs to be said. This is on the line, $10,000. You got your reputation, your ego, your livelihood, all on the line when you walk down and try to take this from me. But let's talk about Ole Anderson for just a moment, and Arn Anderson. You know, from the same family, don't see eye to eye, but you know, the people that fight hardest, usually when you're growing up, we're brothers. We're brothers and sisters. We're people that are in the family. So that's exactly the way it is. There's a special hurt inside Arn. Ole and you caused it. In Philadelphia, we're going to cease and desist Ole Anderson.
Let's bring in Paul Jones, World Tag Team title defense against the Road Warriors.
Let me tell you something, Road Warriors. The Raging Bull and Ravishing Rick is going to take it to you. They're winners. They're not losers. And if you were winners, you'd be wearing those world belts by now. Let me tell you, people support winners because they put themselves in a winner's situation. And when the Ravishing Rick and the Raging Bull walk out of the ring, the people see themselves as champions. So Road Warriors, with all those muscles, you better forget it, because you can't get the job done.
Well, fans, I'm sure you can pick up on the excitement. What a fantastic 2 nights it was in Baltimore to Jim Crockett Senior Memorial Cup. Just a tremendous win for the superpowers, Dusty Rhodes, Nikita Koloff. And we also heard there from the world champion.
This is Tony Schiavone in Baltimore, ringside with the world heavyweight champion, Nature Boy Ric Flair. A lot of contenders for the title, including gorgeous Jimmy Garvin along with Precious.
About it. Baltimore, let's face it right now, we are part of the greatest wrestling spectacular of all time, the Jim Crockett Senior Memorial Cup. And everybody around the world knows that there's 1,000 challengers.
Everybody wants to be the world champion. Everybody wants to be Ric Flair. Everybody wants to be the kingpin in the NWA. But Jimmy Garvin, for a change, buddy, you're on my mind as much as I'm on yours. Because, my friend, you want to walk the aisle. You want to be where I've been, brother. You want to capture all the glory, all the glamour, all the notoriety, all the prestige, everything that comes with being, woo, the world's heavyweight wrestling champion. And Tony Schiavone, in this case, gorgeous Jimmy Garvin, I've got something you want, and you got something I want. And as the whole world knows what Ric Flair wants, Ric Flair gets one way or another. So Garvin, I don't care where it is, the world title's on the line. You come and get all the prestige. You come for it all, buddy, because the bottom line is, when I get done with you, I'm going to be styling and profiling with that gorgeous thing, Precious hanging Sam Slick Ricks, huh? That's what it's all about. Precious, listen to the crowd. They know it's coming down. Jimmy Garvin, wake up. You're going to be mine. Precious is going to be mine. The Four Horsemen are going to rock on, woo, for a long, long time. Baltimore, Maryland, I love it. Woo.
Ladies and gentlemen, feast your eyes and fantasize on the best-looking team in wrestling. Beautiful Bobby and Sweet Stan, the Midnight Express.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back with Jim Cornette and the Midnight Express.
David, Sweet Stan and beautiful Bobby.
We better talk
Quite a combination, and if you want to say something, you better talk now because here comes Cornette.
And it's been nice.
David, it's nice to see your back, especially after seeing your front. Now here you got Nelson Royal in the ring right now. In the 57 years that Nelson Royal's been in professional wrestling, he's learned a lot. You like my expensive tie I have on here today, David? He's learned a lot, but he cannot compete with the Midnight Express. You see the Italian Stallion out there on the apron. If he does anything good, it's going to be inadvertent. So in short, what you've got is another couple of guys that are going to go down to the Midnight Express. Right now, they're just feeling him out. That's all that's happening. They're feeling him out. Sweet Stan coming in, and this man is a master. He's a great wrestler. He's a black belt in karate, and most of all, best of all, he's good looking. But let me tell you this right now. If you think we got ripped off at the Crockett Cup, brother, I don't care about it.
You didn't get ripped off.
Yeah, we got ripped off.
We saw every
Everybody
match.
in Baltimore knows that a son of a plumber and a guy with a toilet seat around his neck is the one that's eliminated us because of a crooked referee. But $1 million in cash even ain't nothing compared to the amount of money that these men are going to earn me with tactics just like that. The greatest wrestlers, the greatest tag team in the world. I've finally done it. And besides that, Ronnie Garvin wants to get me in a cage. Well, let me tell you something, Garvin. I'm talking directly to you.
He is going to.
Yeah, I know. He's going to. Your brother, Jim Crockett, old tightwad, he's trying to hornswoggle me. He's trying to get me killed is what he's doing. They have signed a cage match for May between me and Ronnie Garvin. But you see, the fact of the matter is, Ronnie Garvin has got to be in condition to get in that cage first. And believe me, that ain't going to take place because Garvin, I still got almost a month. I realize he could kill me with his bare hands if he got a hold of me inside that cage, but I've got almost a month. If my mother's lawyers couldn't stop it, if these men can, believe me, Ronnie Garvin ain't going to be in no condition to get me in that cage because if he does, my goose is cooked.
Some pretty good ideas right there. I tell you what, you know he's going to pull every legal plug he can, David, to get out of that cage.
Tony. I can tell you right now, he's already tried, and it hadn't worked. He's got to go in. He's got to get in that cage with Ron Garvin.
Fine team. Beautiful Bobby and Sweet Stan.
Good move. What a team he's put together. Sweet Stan Lane and Beautiful Bobby. The Midnight Express. They're great. They're awesome. We'll be back with more right after this. With us now. Brad's in, and he's ready.
David, this team had a couple of upsets in that tournament.
Oh, yes.
And
They
this team
just about made it.
they made it to the second night of competition. You know, only 7 teams made it that far.
Good move, moved out of the way.
Brad is so quick.
Oh, yes.
Such a great athlete.
Backs him in. Good drop kick. Quickly gets up. Headlock takes him over. Tries for the pin. Boy, this guy's thinking the whole time. He thinks he wants to win. Bullet Bob. Hard right hand. Starts to twist. Again, we want to congratulate the superpowers, the American Dream Dusty Rhodes and Nikita Koloff, on winning the $1 million in the Jim Crockett Senior Memorial Cup.
You know,
go ahead, Tony.
go ahead, David. I was thinking about that and some of the great tag teams around that did not win the cup, but as you know, the U.S. tag team title has been vacated. Understand a tournament will be forthcoming.
That is correct.
So a lot of great teams will have another shot at the tournament, another shot at winning something very prestigious.
And also saying what Dusty Rhodes said about Barry Windham and the World Heavyweight Champion Ric Flair. It was truly one of the greatest matches I've ever seen. I want to congratulate, really, both men on that match, because it was something. Nice move.
David, you're right. It's really what professional wrestling is all about. One-on-one competition at its best. And when Windham and Flair got in the ring, that's really what it was at its best.
Ties up.
You know, one thing that made the Armstrongs so successful in the tournament was this right here, and we talked about it, David, you and I, so much before going in, and that was offensive wrestling, going and getting the man. When Brad Armstrong sees you lying on the mat, he'll go pick you up. Or when you're standing up in a corner, he'll go in that corner and he'll pull you out. Same thing with Bullet Bob.
They know their opponents. They have a game plan, and they stick to it. Has the arm. Driving him down on the mat. Hey, still to come. The complete package. One of the 4 horsemen. Lex Luger and J.J. Dillon. Hooks him for the pin. Are you talking about the United States Tag Team Tournament that's going to be held? You know these 2 men are going to be in that tournament, and they're going to be shooting for the top.
Not only in the tournament, but also, I'm sure, one of the top teams to be reckoned with. And here's why. The quickness of Brad Armstrong. Oh, he's something.
He really is. The best are only here, right here on Worldwide Wrestling.
And when we come back, Ivan Koloff, Vladimir Pietrov will demonstrate the Russian chain. Don't you go away.
You got to watch this one.
We'll be right back, fans, after these commercial messages about the worldwide wrestling events coming to your area.
Fans, we want you to meet right here one of the most spectacular and exciting teams to come along in a long, long time, the New Breed.
That's it, Bob. He said a key word, spectacular. The most spectacular team in the sport of wrestling today, tomorrow, or any other time. Because, you know, Bob, we're sent here for one reason. Through the time-space continuum with the flux capacitor and 2.2 gigawatts to shoot us through the time-space continuum to bring us here to you, to save you people of today from the likes of the Rock and Roll Express and people like that. They're taking the kids of today and they're sending them down the wrong path. And we've been sent here to straighten things out before they get messed up any worse than they already are. Tell them, my friend, exactly what we have planned for today, for 1987.
All I have to say is that rock and roll went out with Elvis Presley, that fat old man who died so many years ago. Wrestling is guided, it's headed towards the future. And as you know, that's where we came from. And we came back, as my friend said, for a purpose. Rock and roll to me is boring. And we came back to show you people that futuristic wrestling, such as the new breed, is upon us. You're in for a big, big surprise. Rock and roll, you are going to die.
Koloff with the Russian chain, a master of the Russian chain.
I just got done talking to Comrade Murdoch, and he's counting the days until he comes back. And each day that goes by, he gets angrier and angrier. So Superpowers, Dusty Rhodes, Nikita, you got a lot to look forward to that you're not going to like. Now, last week I came out here and I said I was going to demonstrate the Russian chain. Now, everybody knows that Americans are all motivated by money, the greed for money. So I have offered this young wrestler, George South, to come out here for $100 American, not to have a Russian chain match, but merely to demonstrate the Russian chain. George South, here is your $100.
Okay, there's the money.
Now, first of all, you put the chain around your wrist of your opponent, likewise to my own. Go ahead, put it on your wrist. The ultimate goal is to have your opponent beaten down so bad in the ring that you can drag him around the ring, touching all four corners consecutively without him getting up. Now, Nikita, I have taught you how to use a chain like I have taught Vladimir. Now, without a doubt in my mind, I know Vladimir can defeat you. But what you have done to the Koloff name, during it, embarrassing me to the Kremlin, to my country, to myself, for this, I want to revenge, and I want to challenge you to a Russian chain match in every city in America to show you that I am superior to you, that I am the master of the Russian chain. Now, the Russian chain, you can use it in any manner in the ring. You can take it, you can hit your opponent in the stomach, you can hit him in the face, in the kneecap, you can use it likewise to whip him with it across the face. You can imagine what this chain can do. 12 feet long, weighing around 15 pounds. One blow from it can knock you out. Now, you see, Nikita, what you got in store? You can take the chain, you can choke your opponent likewise. You can take it, put it around his neck, hoist him up like this over your back. You can really punish your opponent like this until he cannot take anymore. You can imagine, Nikita, what would happen if I took this and hit you in the throat. You think your neck hurts now? Can you imagine if I hit you like this in the throat? If I took you and beat you? That's coming.
Goodness gracious.
Hold on.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. The total package.
Oh, boy.
One of the four horsemen. And one of the greatest wrestlers in the world, Lex Luger. And the man that's driving him, coaching him, and making him one of the greatest wrestlers in the world is J.J. Dillon. With his guidance, look at that. J.J. split a family, and I'm talking about the family of Ole Anderson, Ric Flair, Arn Anderson. Split them apart, kicked Ole out, but The Rock is not finished yet. Not at all, David.
You know, you take one look at Lex Luger, and you're obviously impressed just by the appearance. But the more you see of him every week, the more you realize that when he said, "I'm the total package," then you have to think, the total package, the complete package means he can do it all, and he really can. What he wants now, the U.S. title held by Nikita Koloff, and of course, he realizes, and everybody in the wrestling world realizes, that is one task ahead of you, to face Nikita Koloff and to try to take away a title from him.
One of the world powers, Nikita Koloff. Rocky quickly and wisely moved out of the way. Now he goes for the arm. This is a good stretch. Right for the eyes.
A long reach by Luger, a big man.
Big. He's huge.
Yeah, enormous man, you're right.
Just like Hercules. Okay. He's pleased with himself. Oh.
And that's right in the Horseman style also.
Oh, yes. Being a horseman is a state of mind. You live it 24 hours a day. Look at that. Scoop slam. Powered him down. Breaking him half. JJ gave the signal, and Lex obeys. Has him up. And Rocky wisely gives up because he has no choice. Look at him.
Lex Luger and the sign of unity, the Four Horsemen. Luger with a backbreaker on Rocky King. What an awesome sight. What an awesome athlete looking to get that U.S. title. The winner, Lex Luger with J.J. Dillon, and both men are down at ringside with David Crockett.
All right, J.J., Nikita Koloff. Everybody's talking about the matchup for the United States heavyweight title. Nikita against Lex.
Let's talk about first things first. Let's talk about the demonstration you just saw of the awesome power of Lex Luger. That's foremost, and we better get that straight first. And another point I think needs to be made is when the Four Horsemen left Baltimore, the Four Horsemen left all with their heads held high, and they knew we were in town days after we were gone. Now, as far as Nikita Koloff is concerned, Lex Luger has said time and time again, I am the total package. The man's not bragging, he's just telling you how it is. And the only thing that's missing this point is that belt that belongs around his waist. Lex, it's just a matter of time.
You know, JJ, very few people are put on the face of this earth who can write their own script. I got everything to choose in life to do what I want. Lex Luger coming after Nikita Koloff. He's coming after the belt. What Lex Luger says, he gets done.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next.